While most vacationers enjoy their trip without a hitch, a select few manage to earn a lifetime ban for their misadventures. Curious about what it takes to join this infamous club? Buckle up as we dive into the bizarre and brazen acts that can turn your luxury cruise into a permanent farewell from the fleet. Hey guys, how are you? I hope you're having a splendid day, and if you're new here, welcome. My name is Kim. I do lots of cruise videos, and I would love it if you would join my traveling party. So let's get right into today's video, and these stories, guys, are crazy. And in some instances, I really believe that the lifetime ban was warranted. So I would love it if you would let me know your thoughts. Drop a comment and let me know if you think that these situations did warrant a lifetime ban. And of course, I will give you my opinions at the end of each incident. So let me know if you agree or not. So the first way to get banned for life from a cruise line is fishing off your balcony. And yes, this actually happened on a Carnival cruise in the Bahamas. So a man on this cruise decided that he wanted to go fishing, and instead of waiting till they got to port, he just dropped a line in right off of his balcony. And you're never going to believe this, but he actually caught a fish. And because he was on the ship in a balcony, it took a long time to reel in the fish because he was so high up. And another passenger filmed this entire thing while encouraging him to be careful not to hit other balconies or passengers in balconies as he was reeling in the fish. Now, Carnival had no idea that this even happened until the video that the other passenger took became an internet sensation. But unfortunately for the fishing passenger, Carnival did find out about the incident due to the TikTok video. They were able to identify the passenger, and they issued a lifetime ban from ever sailing on their cruise line again. I have a lot of questions about this one. Can you bring fishing gear on a cruise ship? I honestly don't know. I've never seen anyone do it. Did security question him about his plans, why he was bringing the fishing pole, or did it just go unnoticed? Also, what kind of fish was it, and did he throw it back? Was he thinking the chef might grill it up that night, maybe as a fish of the day? I have no clue. And if he threw the fish back, that's a rule violation because you're not allowed to throw anything off your balcony. So the fish was a violation, and so was, I guess, throwing the lure into the water. I don't know if cruise ships specifically prohibit fishing or not, or if it's just common sense. But regardless, I think a lifetime ban may have been a little harsh, just because I think it was done just because the person was clueless and not because it had any ill intent, and it didn't harm any passenger. But then again, I guess if he was, throwing a fishing line into the water with hooks, it could have hit another passenger. So I kind of see both sides. What do you think? Okay, our next incident occurred on the Allure of the Seas Royal Caribbean ship, and this happened in 2019. In this case, a woman climbed up on her balcony railing, and did she just sit there? Oh, no. She actually stood up and put her hands on the balcony above her. Now, why would a woman do this? Is it because her stateroom was on fire and she had no choice? No, it was because she was trying to take the perfect selfie. Another passenger saw this entire incident and alerted the ship's crew. They were actually worried that she was trying to commit suicide. When the Allure of the Seas docked in Jamaica, the woman was removed from the ship and she was banned from ever sailing with Royal Caribbean again. The cruise line's policy states, sitting, standing, laying, or climbing on, over, or across any exterior or interior railings or other protective barriers, or tampering with ship's equipment, facilities, or systems designed for guest safety is not permitted. In this instance, I think the ban was totally warranted. That is a huge safety violation, and if she would have fallen into the water, the ship would have had to spend countless hours and manpower trying to locate her. This was a very dangerous situation. I actually have a whole video about falling off cruise ships. I will link it at the end in case you want to check it out. But in that video, I give you all the stats, the survival rates, and what cruise lines do in those types of situations. Next, we have another case where a female passenger climbed on her balcony railing, and this was on the Carnival Jubilee this year. But in this case, the woman climbed over her balcony railing, and bear with me, and she stepped onto a tarp-type roof. So she was on deck 9, and the tarp roof was below her, and this tarp roof covered a public space on the deck below. So it was her cabin, the roof, and then there was a deck space, public space here. And she just climbed over the railing, and she just started hanging out on this tarp-like roof. She was even talking to other passengers while she was out there chilling out. And of course, somebody snapped a picture. They also took a video and uploaded it to TikTok so everyone could see this woman's antics, and she was banned for life by Carnival Cruise Lines. Even though it doesn't appear that her life was in danger, I do believe that this ban was a good idea. She could have fallen through this tarp-like roof. She could have injured herself climbing over the balcony, and if she did fall through the roof, I don't know how sturdy it was, she could have injured another passenger. So I think it was totally warranted. What about you? The next situation I'm going to tell you about was on Royal Caribbean's Symphony of the Seas, and this one got a lot of media attention when it happened. A group of friends was sailing together on this cruise, and they dared one of them to jump off their balcony. They were actually at port, and so one of the men decided he was going to do it. They were on deck 11, so it was about a 120-foot fall. Now, fortunately, this passenger survived, although he was very hurt. He said he could barely walk for 3 days. He must have smacked that water hard. You can imagine, I think a high diver in the Olympics is about 30 feet. This was 120 feet. The man did admit that he was still drunk from the night before, and he also said, "I did not think this through before I jumped. My idea was that this would be a good laugh for my friends, and I would just swim back to shore and continue my vacation, and never thought this would be this serious." Now, he was prohibited from ever cruising on Royal Caribbean again. Totally justified. But so were his entire group of friends, and I'm kind of split on this. They didn't do anything wrong necessarily. They didn't break any policy, and I'm wondering if they really expected him to jump off the ship, or if they were just doing it as kind of a stupid dare, like they didn't think anybody would really do it. But anyway, the entire group was banned. This next one, I think, is a complete overreaction by the cruise line, but you'll have to tell me what you think. This happened on Carnival when a female passenger tried to board the ship with CBD sleep gummies. CBD, not THC. These were the CBD gummies that you can get anywhere that will help you sleep. Now, when security found these CBD gummies, instead of just taking them away and letting her board the ship, they basically banned her from going on the cruise. And as a result, her family didn't go on the cruise either. They didn't want to cruise without her. And that's too bad, because this was her husband's 21st anniversary cruise, and they were also celebrating one of their son's high school graduations. So all in all, they were out about $8,000. And guess what? Carnival banned her from ever cruising with them again. In a statement, a Carnival spokesperson said, "We are very sorry this guest and her family are unhappy with the outcome of their vacation plans, but we are following federal law under which CBD is defined as a controlled substance." The family did hire an attorney to try to recoup their costs, and the attorney said, "CBD is not marijuana. When you look at the specific rules and conditions that you agree to when you sail, it specifically says marijuana, marijuana derivatives, and all illegally controlled substances are prohibited. And what my client had was none of those things." So I don't know. You'll have to share your thoughts with me, but I do think this was overreacting. These were CBD sleep gummies. They did not have any THC drug effects. So I don't know. I'm just surprised that the cruise line wouldn't just not allow her to bring them on and let her go on the cruise. She wasn't arrested or anything because it's not against the law. They couldn't arrest her for anything at the port. So I don't know. I do have a video all about items that will get you called to the naughty room on cruise ships. It goes over a lot of the most commonly banned items, so definitely check it out. I will link it at the end if you want to watch. Now, the next story I have for you is very, very strange. This happened on a Carnival cruise, and a few of the passengers on this cruise got stuck in an elevator. They said an elevator cable snapped, which caused the elevator to stop immediately. No one was hurt, but they were trapped on the elevator. The group said they were able to pry open the elevator doors a few inches so that they could see out and that crew members could see them. And they said that crew members kind of laughed at them. They thought it was funny. And it actually wasn't very funny because one of them actually passed out. The guests were very, very frustrated, and they were basically telling the crew members to please help them get out. And one of the crew members reportedly said something along the lines of, "Calm down. If you're in there another 45 minutes or an hour, it's not going to kill you." Now, this angered the passengers, so they decided they were going to take matters into their own hands and try to get out of the elevator themselves. And according to Carnival, when they were doing so, they caused some damage to an elevator, which I don't know. How much damage could people possibly do to an elevator inside of it trying to get out? It just all sounds a little weird to me. Now, of course, we don't really know exactly what happened, and Carnival says there are two sides to every story. In fact, they said, "We had a group of guests stuck in one of our elevators last week for approximately 30 to 40 minutes. Our onboard team was summoned to provide assistance. Unfortunately, because of the extensive damage to the elevator doors and cabling caused by the guests, the work took longer than expected." And then the cruise line did confirm that the guests had been banned for life. Given the extensive damage they caused to the elevator and their behavior towards both other guests and crew, we decided it was best for this group to find another cruise line to sail. So that's interesting. Again, I don't know how much damage you could possibly do to an elevator. Sounds like these people were probably just very, very upset and probably saying some pretty mean things to the staff who they thought was mocking them. But again, we don't know the exact story, but it's just weird, right? And the guests in the elevator did say that they think Carnival is just trying to play the blame game. They said, "Carnival is trying to turn this into a blame game rather than looking at the actions of their crew members and staff. They should be reprimanding their employees for their unprofessional behavior and redefining their rescue procedures." So there you go. So just one last thing before we wrap up, and that is when I was researching this video, I did find an incident of fighting. Now, of course, if you are fighting on a cruise ship, you are going to get a lifetime ban, no questions asked. But I saw an instance where somebody was shoved. They were not even the aggressor at all, and they were shoved multiple times. And all they did was kind of put their hands up to try to defend themselves. And they were also banned from the cruise line. When I went back to look, I couldn't find the exact ship or anything, but I did read that cruise lines' policies are typically that anyone involved in a fight will be banned from that particular cruise line and let off at the next port. So I thought that was interesting. You'll have to let me know if you have any further insights into this, but they did say anyone involved in a fight, even if they didn't throw a punch. I thought that was pretty interesting. Anyway, that's all I have for you today. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, give it a like and don't forget to subscribe. Be sure to leave a comment and tell me if you think these incidents were justified for a lifetime ban. If you'd like to talk cruising with me just a little bit longer, I will link to videos at the end that you can check out. The video on the left is about falling off a cruise ship, where I give you all the stats, figures, and what cruise lines do if somebody does fall overboard. And the video on the right is all about items that are banned by cruise lines. Until next time, I hope you have happy and safe travels. I appreciate you and thank you so much for watching. Bye now.